Hey there, and welcome to this week's episode of My Opinion On. If you want to have your subject in this weekly series, just leave it in the comment section below and I will maybe do a video about it. So this week we are going to talk about necrophilia. And this topic is kind of horrible to talk about, but yeah, I thought I would share my opinion on it. So I did a video about sex with animals a while back, and I think my take on sex with dead bodies basically is, it's kind of the same take, but there are other factors that, you have to consider if we are talking about sex with dead people. So first of all, I always wondered why the frick would you find dead people, dead bodies attractive? I have no idea why. They are a little bit smelly usually, they are cold, it's basically, it's a dead object, so it's an inanimated object, so it's like, having sex with a pillow basically, but the pillow is hard as a rock. So yeah, it's basically like having sex with a cold, dead rock. I have no idea what would be attractive about that, and I don't think I know anyone that's actually a necrophiliac, necrophile. I have no idea how to call it. But yeah, I don't know anyone that's, interested in dead bodies as far as I know. Of course, I could have friends that, really love to bang a dead chick, but who knows? And I actually don't know if, there are female necrophiliacs, if there are females that actually enjoy having sex with dead bodies. I know there are, male guys that love to do it because, we have the equipment to do it basically. We could have sex with a dead dog. We could have sex with everything basically because, we got this thing sticking out. We got a penis. It's kind of easy to have sex with that thing. But I'm wondering if if there are actually women out there that want to do that. It's, I should have checked that up, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, if you're attracted to that kind of thing, I don't actually think it's a really bad thing. Of course, you have to take, security measures or, health measures. You can't do it without protection, for example, not because the dead body can't get pregnant, that's stupid, but because of the fact that, once a person dies, there will be so much chemicals and the rotting and oh my god, it's just disgusting to think about it. But yeah, so many chemical processes that you actually have to protect yourself just in order to not get sick. So that's very important. But other than that, I actually have no problem with the thing itself. Of course, they are banging a dead person. So they have sex with a person that, was alive a while back, of course. And, this person had people that loved him and they probably don't want them to, bang the dead body. But for the dead body itself, it isn't even rape or something like that because, there has to be no consent between a person and an inanimated object. If I want to have sex with my wall, I can have sex with my wall. No one cares. Why the frick would you care? Why the frick would the wall care? It's not like the wall felt raped after it or the wall would start to cry, whatever. I don't need consent from my wall. I can just do it. So, and that's basically the same thing. But, a dead body he can't consent to, but his, friends and family probably should consent to it. But hey, what about that? What if a family just said, okay, if my father dies, whatever, and if he wants to, he can be given to some necrophiliacs for, them to have fun. What about that? What if you actually did a system like that? That would actually make necrophilia something normal, something not so bad, basically, I think. So yeah, for me, as I said, I have absolutely no problem with it. I can't understand why the freaking hell you would want to bang something that's dead, because that's just kind of disgusting for me. But if you're into that, it's not such a bad thing. And come on, just think about it for a minute. It may be disgusting for you, and of course we have all learned from, growing up that it's a bad thing to do. But in the end, who you are hurting with it? If the family actually doesn't know, did you really hurt anyone? Did you hurt anyone at all? And there is this argument about the honor or the grace of the dead people, and I actually don't see that. Most of the time, if someone dies, they will just be buried in a hole, and that's, there is nothing graceful or honorful or whatever about that. It's just dead meat in the ground. It sounds horrible, but that's basically what it is. The moment a person dies and the spark of life basically vanishes, there is nothing left. It's dead meat. It's the same what you got on your plate every day, basically. A dead cow, there is no difference to a dead human. It's basically the same, as hard as it sounds, but it's only our emotional attachment to the dead thing there that changes it. You're not emotionally attached to a dead cow, but you are to your dead son, father, whatever. You're attached to that, so that's the only difference it makes. A dead human body is basically the same as a dead animal, isn't it? If you really think about it. So what's your point on that? What do you think about necrophilia? Please leave it in the comment section below, and of course rate the video if you enjoyed it. And that was it for this week's episode of My Opinion On. I am iLostLink, signing out.